Truth or fiction? 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 15 says I'm free to remarry if my non-Christian husband or wife leaves. Let's dig into this heated topic to see what the Bible actually says. The Apostle Paul opens this topic in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verses 10 and 11, addressing married couples, and he is very direct and clear. Now to the married I command, yet not I but the Lord. A wife is not to depart from her husband, but even if she does depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and a husband is not to divorce his wife. Paul concludes this topic between a husband and wife in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 39, and again is very direct and clear. A wife is bound by law as long as her husband lives, but if her husband dies, she is at liberty to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. There is no other way to interpret this. Verses 10 to 11 and 39 are in total agreement, and both passages emphasize that marriage endures until death and remarriage is not permitted. Is Paul going to contradict himself right in the middle of this important topic? Does he forget what he wrote moments before? Let's investigate what he says in between these verses. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 15, Paul writes, "But if the unbeliever departs, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God has called us to peace." Some interpret the passage to mean that Paul is saying marriage is bondage. If an unbelieving spouse departs, the marriage bond is broken, and therefore one is free to remarry. However, the phrase bondage primarily refers to being released from the obligation to maintain the marriage. The believer is not compelled to force the relationship to continue. This guidance provides both a framework for honoring marriage and a compassionate allowance for situations where reconciliation is not possible. In this light, it fits seamlessly with Paul's opening and closing remarks that marriage is permanent. In conclusion, it is fiction that if a non-Christian husband or wife leaves the marriage has ended and remarriage can occur. The Bible is clear that one is to remain single or be reconciled. Remarriage is not an option. The Bible teaches that covenant marriages are for life, and that those who divorce and remarry while their former spouse lives are committing ongoing adultery. This is a hard truth not all can accept. Are you going to pick up your cross and follow Jesus, no matter the cost?